Today, our guest is the member of Central Election Commission, Gulaga Aslanli. Welcome to our studio. Thank you. Today, the Constitutional Court of Azerbaijan held a meeting on the approval of the results of the parliamentary elections. In the meeting, you stated that the Constitutional Court must not recognize the results of elections and annul the results. Why do you think so? What are your evidences? As the member of the Commission, I gave a short information about the violations of law since the beginning of the election campaign. I said that I had also wanted to report these violations in a special note to the Central Election Commission in its final meeting on approval of results as well. However, the Commission Chairman, Mazar Penahov, said that I could only give a special note once I signed the protocol. Though this issue is not reflected unambiguously in the Electoral Code, they didn't accept it. On the same day, I sent my note to the Commission through mail, and therefore I started my speech in the Constitutional Court with this issue. What did you focus on in your speech? Could you give details? I spoke about the lack of election climate in the country in the year of elections. Then I spoke about the negative amendments to the Electoral Code. I noted that annulment of financial support to the candidates and political parties, reduction of campaigning period were all negative trends. I once again stated that freedom of assembly was violated during the election period, and I noted that therefore there was no trust for fair elections. But you also spoke about the 1918 parliamentary elections and the presidential elections of 1992. And you made a comparative analysis. The Azerbaijan People's Republic, established in 1918 under the leadership of Mehmed Emin Arslanli, gave the women a right to vote for the first time in the East. I recall the international organization's report about the 1992 presidential elections in Azerbaijan, which spoke that the elections were fair. But unfortunately, the international organizations didn't make positive comments on any elections since that time. And this year, the OSCE and the United States State Department stated that there was no progress toward democracy in this year's elections. The OSCE report says that there were serious and very serious problems in a third of the election precincts in the country. The US State Department report demanded that election fraud should be investigated properly and those who committed those violations should be punished. A while ago, parliamentarian candidate Bakhtiar Hajiev presented a court letter to us. In the beginning of the letter, it was written that the decision is applied to Sardar Jaliloglu, but the rest text mentioned Hajiev's name. So Hajiev says that the courts never consider the complaints sent by the candidates, and the court usually applies template decisions. They even forget to change the names. What can you say about it? There was a similar situation with 3 complaints sent to the Central Election Commission. The point is that the complaints were template and sent by the same center, and the Commission leadership agreed that it was a gross violation. Therefore, 3 complaints were not heard by the Commission and sent back. But later we saw that the Central Election Commission's decisions were templates as well. A decision is made, and other decisions are copies of this decision. Sometimes even they confuse the constituencies. It is interesting that the court letter sent to Hajiev had also been signed by the experts who have not noticed it either. You know that all the speeches in the Constitutional Court meeting cited the legislation. Actually, the Central Election Commission should have submitted results report within 20 days, and the court should consider it within 10 days. But the Commission didn't wait 20 days. The Constitutional Court considered the results in 3 days. And it's not possible for the experts to review all the documents in 3 days. I asked the question then to the State Statistics Committee expert who refused to answer. The question was that, according to the State Statistical Committee, there are about 606,400,000 voters in Azerbaijan, but according to the Central Election Commission, there are 5 million voters in Azerbaijan. And where are the remaining 1.5 million voters? I asked. No state agency explains which is wrong. So the experts were ordered to write a positive opinion report, and they did it. And my last question. You stated that without fair elections in the country, there could not be any socio-economic development in the country, or neither Karabakh conflict could be settled. Could you give details about this? All the men with democratic thinking know that in a country lacking normal elections, you cannot have democratic values. And without democratic values, you cannot have free society. And where you don't have free society, there it is not possible to see any economic development or social welfare. So everything depends on fair elections. And all the countries in the world solve their problems through free elections. Thank you for coming to our studio today. Our guest was the member of Central Election Commission, Gulaga Aslanli.
Çok sağ olun, ben de size teşekkür ederim.